Welcome back to Chatswood Garage. I've decided to make a start on sorting out my suspension and brakes problems. Forgot to get the camera out before I jacked the car up, which was probably pretty lucky because it's the closest I've ever come to dropping a car off the jack. I was right in the middle of teaching my kids that it's dangerous to be around the car when someone's jacking it up and to make sure that they stand back, and the jack slipped. Luckily, the cross member on the Galaxie is the widest cross member I've ever come across, so there was room for it to slip without falling. So I've got the wheel off now, exposed my huge big drums. Wheel bearings sound good, on this corner at least. Now I've got to figure out how to get it apart. I've only ever worked on Mustangs and Capris and bits and pieces like that which have got disc brakes, and I've never worked on anything that's got these huge big drums. So it looks like it's integral with the hub, so I'll start by taking off the cap. I want to repack the wheel bearings with grease anyway, so I'm happy to pull it all apart. So I'll rip into it and see where we get to. I did time-lapse this, but it came off so easy. It's only about 1 second long. The brake linings look pretty thin, I don't know if you can see that. So it's Christmas time now. I get to go through all the boxes of stuff from Rock Auto that I got and make sure that I got the right part numbers, because I didn't have the car at the time, so I was guessing. Got wheel cylinders, some ball joints, fan belts, some sway bar end links, and our brake shoes that are hopefully right. I'll bring you along for the ride while I see if they fit. Otherwise somebody here in New Zealand is getting some cheap brake shoes for their Galaxie. They do not. They look like the right frame, but the lining on it only goes halfway around. Bizarre. Aha, we've got a leading and a trailing shoe. Success. They are the correct parts. Oh, I'm pleased with that. I was really worried about it, because they would be expensive to get over here again. That was really good fun. I've just been through all the boxes from Rock Auto to pick through all the stuff that I'd forgotten that I bought. Over here we've got all our upper and lower control arm bushings, sway bar bushings and end links, ball joints, upper ball joints, lower ball joints, rear wheel cylinders, front wheel cylinders, front brake shoes, rear brake shoes. That's for the Mustang. We've got a hardware kit for the brakes, new KYB gas shocks, radiator hoses, fan belts, rocker cover gaskets, and I completely forgot that I had bought a new water pump for it. Fingers crossed it all fits, because a few of them had multiple part numbers listed on Rock Auto, and I just had to take a best guess. Remember, big block in there. Woohoo! It's getting a bit dark to be working here anymore tonight, but what all the parts does mean is that I'm basically going to go around corner by corner and dismantle the whole lot. So I'll strip down the brakes completely, pull out the control arms, fit all the new parts, and then try and remember how it goes back together. Where's my ratchet? Just having a bit of fun tonight. Started pulling apart all of the front suspension. Tools everywhere, made a huge mess. Dirt, grease. It's coming apart okay though. The lower ball joint I could not get with the old put some weight on it and beat it method, so I don't think it's ever been undone. So I had to have a crack at it with this ball joint breaker, which has absolutely trashed the rubbers. So fingers crossed I've got the right part for the new one. But all the other bolts and things are coming apart alright. I've got the jack taking the weight at the moment, and I'm just backing off the shock absorber so I can lower away the lower control arm. I've loosened off all the bolts. The radius arm bushings look a bit buggered and I haven't got new ones of those, but hopefully they're reasonably easy to get here in New Zealand. Being that they won't be wagon specific parts, they should be alright. Yeah, so I'll crack on with getting this shock absorber out. Alright, I suspect I'm turning the whole shaft there. Yes. Don't think I've got a small enough spanner for that, so vice grip it is. On the flats at the top of course, not on the threads. I want to be able to get the nut all the way off. Alright, got the nut off the top of the shock. Bushing is pretty old looking. Surprisingly not that hard and brittle, but it's definitely pretty deformed. Weight sitting on the jack, so we'll lower that away and see what happens. Got a bit of a sweat going tonight. It's been quite hot around here, and then it's rained today, so it's very muggy, humid and sticky. What's happening now? What's holding it up? I suspect the sway bar end link has got caught. This whole series of casting shadows in here keep making me think it's spiders. We don't have any nasty spiders in New Zealand, but I'm still not friends with them. Well, I'll back the bolt out of the lower control arm and see what happens. Bit of a disclaimer for this YouTube channel. I'm not a mechanic. I'm pretty handy. Been working on cars for a very long time and know reasonably well what I'm doing, but probably not things that you would say are industry best practice, like keeping a good handle on where my tools are. Somewhere around here is a 3/4 inch socket. There it is, hiding in the jack. I'm going to get my handy 1/4 inch screwdriver and follow the lower control arm bolt out with it, so that if it drops it catches on that and doesn't take my arm off. It also has the benefit of allowing me to push the bolt out and know that it's actually moving. Might undo the other end of the sway bar. Get creative now, trying to pry it apart with the ball joint breaker. So I just undid the top part of the sway bar end link because it didn't seem to want to let go. And then it turns out that in an effort to not lose the nut, I left it hanging on the end, just a thread on there. That'll be why it wouldn't come loose. I am my own best friend sometimes. Always stitching myself up. Now let's see what happens when I back this off. If it'll come crashing out on the ground. And put the spring compressor on so it doesn't kill me. Doesn't feel like it's got much on it, but you just never know. I have had mates that have got injured doing stuff like this before. There it goes. Narrowly ever missing my nose. Good call though. The radius arm bushings are absolutely shagged. That's enough on Chatswood Garage today though. It's been a big day with work and kids and more work, more kids. So we've got that apart, and we'll crack on with stripping it down, pressing all the bits and pieces out and rebuilding it a bit later on. Maybe tomorrow night we'll whip out the upper control arm so I can go and use the press at my old man's place and do both of them all at the same time. We'll see how we get on with this top ball joint though. I'm not looking forward to that one. Not sure that the spare I've got is correct, so I don't want to wreck it. Hopefully it plays nice.